Everyone out there watching right now, guys, is going to catch a bit of a rare Jake. If I look extra tired, it's because it's extra early, trying to get a little bit of an early upload out today, guys, because shortly before I announced the Sinatraa move, that being the MVP of the Overwatch League, and yes, an OWL champion in Sinatraa just last night, guys, has now signed and actually retired from Overwatch and joined Valorant, a gigantic move I'm sure we'll be talking about probably all week long as more pro players do follow in his footsteps from the Overwatch scene and other scenes as well. Just before, moments before our video went live on that, guys, Sentinels, I don't know if they panicked, if things were going to get leaked. They then announced 4 of their 5 starting rosters, and it's very weird so far. We've seen a lot of these partial roster builds. T1, now 3 of 5. We have NIP. They actually swapped over a Paladins roster. They moved their coach. They moved one of their players to a coaching role, so they have also 4 out of 5, plus a coach. Now Sentinels announced their 4 out of the 5-man team you need. 2 former CS pros and 2 former Overwatch pros, unless you want to count Zoms as also an Overwatch and an Apex guy. I do believe he's directly coming from more so of the Apex scene, but it sounds a lot cooler to say 2 Overwatch and 2 CSGO pros. Sinatraa probably being the biggest title on this team right now, and Sentinels certainly paying out a good sum of money, and it does make you question, right? It's going to happen a lot because it's so early on. This game is still in closed beta. It really does make you question how the heck these teams are analyzing performance and how the heck they're signing these players in the first place. Now, despite all of that, I did follow Sick, who is also signed alongside Shahzam, alongside Zoms and Sinatraa that will fill out their 4-man roster right now. I love a lot of these guys because they also come from the Counter-Strike scene, and they've had their times in the Counter-Strike scene, but I would be dumb to say they were, in their prime or at least at the very, very top tier of Counter-Strike like Sinatraa was for Overwatch. These guys were probably not of that caliber, but have had their glimpses in the past. I don't know too much about Zoms when it comes from Sick. TSM, many a years back, he was in kind of his prime, or at least his well-noted era of being, a top talent in the CS scene. Shahzam as well, formerly of Optic. He's been moved around. Latest, I believe, was Complexity. Still, in my opinion, one of the better North American oppers, so I expect him to continue that role into this team, but it is weird, right? How these teams can somehow, during closed beta, put a 4-man roster together. I don't know if these guys are friends. Obviously, they've hopefully been playing together, maybe been scrimming or pracking together, and maybe chosen at least one or the other based off, friendships or ties in the past. Either way, this one's a weird one. We actually had Mao, I believe, from a Complexity staff, hint at this happening, saying you could actually make a Valorant roster of ex-Complexity guys. So I think he was hinting at this move. It's a very, very curious one I'm still very excited about, and this will not be the last one when it comes time for Apex, CS, and Overwatch pros moving over. I think definitely the talk of the town is still, though, the fact that an MVP and a champion from the Overwatch League and one of their best players has now swapped over. Also, Sentinels divvying out a lot of cash right now. Sentinels, by the way, not my own thoughts as well, thanks to Twitter, now has locks on some top talent. Booga from Fortnite, XQC from Overwatch and as a streaming personality, and now Sinatraa from Overwatch as well. They got some pretty good signings and some pretty solid rosters, and they spend some pretty solid money to acquire them. These guys have now been signed to Valorant. They've left their, former esports scenes. Who is next is a giant question, and whoever is next will be covered here. What do you guys think about this? Videos coming all day long. Lots of great content. Until next time, drink your Wawa. I'm going to go drink my coffee. I'll see you guys back here soon.